The JSA has been on the ropes ever since this series started. Let's hope now they can start getting off of them. My name is Doran. This is SEM Comics. We're continuing our coverage of JSA with number 4. Our story starts off with Dr. Mid-Nite in the dark, which she's used to because she's blind. I guess that requires more explanation. You see, on Crisis on Infinite Earth, there was an explosion and she lost her sight. Now, she does have a form of night vision. The goggles that she uses, she's able to see like all the time. But obviously right now, she doesn't have those goggles, or her belt, or her gauntlets. And to make things even worse, she's being guarded by Solomon Grundy. Yes, Mr. I like to take out geriatric people himself. And he goes, born on a Monday. And she's like, where am I? Where is this? And he goes, Grundy watch. Grundy no talk. So then she thinks to herself, she's like, when you're blind, you have to take every advantage. Luckily, I took lessons from a certain super escape artist from New Genesis, Mr. Miracle. And I also learned some tricks of the trade from a man in Gotham that has all the gizmos, Batman. And in her emblem, she has one last smoke bomb, which she throws at Grundy, and she escapes. But then she runs right to some armed guards. And they're like, I thought the zombie was watching her. And they start shooting at her. And she dodges the bullets. She comes in and she's like, but luckily, I got taught how to fight by Ted Grant, Wildcat. She elbows one dude right in the jaw, and then she snaps the other dude's arm. Like, his elbow went the other way, and it's not supposed to go that way. So she takes off running again, and she happens to run into a meeting of the Injustice Society. But luckily, they don't see her. So they're pretty much bitching to Woden because it seems like JSA's on the road. But really, Injustice Society ain't not going right for him either. They still don't have the Helmet of Fate, even though a kid is wielding it. And they need a Helmet of Fate and a Spirit Destiny, which they still don't have, to do whatever they want to do. And Woden lost Hawkman. And they need him to find the Spirit Destiny because they went to his lair, and that was a dead end. But then Grundy wobbles in there and goes, Mid-Nite lady gone. Grundy feel ashamed. So the Vandal Savage is like, I'll go find Dr. Mid-Nite. Woden, you go find Hawkman. So Woden delegates down, goes, gentlemen, goes to Solomon Grundy. You guys need to go to hell. Literally. And go find Hawkman. Gentleman goes like, you ain't say nothing but a word. So then we cut to a hospital where we have Obsidian, who is not a costume. And he's waking up and he's like, where am I? And the nurse is like, oh, don't worry about it. You had a car accident and we're taking care of you. And Obsidian's like, that don't sound right. That I don't remember. Like, I remember the Injustice Society attacking and I was trying to protect Jakeem. And the nurse is like, trust me, you hit your head, you have a concussion, it was an accident. So Obsidian's like, no, that doesn't sound right. And then all of a sudden the nurse pulls out a needle, pokes it in his arm, and he goes back to sleep. So this time he wakes up, he has a full grown beard, and he's like, why is it always day? Like, how long have I been here? I can't tell how long I've been here because it's never night. Nurse doesn't even try to even like sugarcoat it. He just pops out that needle, pops it in his arm, tells him to go back to sleep. So he wakes up again, he's strapped to the bed, but this time he's starting to remember who he is. And now the darkness decides to help him out, and he transforms back into Obsidian. So he runs out of his room, and the nurse is just waiting on him with that needle. So Obsidian uses his powers and takes him down, but then he's like, guess I gotta let you see the light. And that's what he does. He transforms into light, blinds Obsidian, but then when he looks, now there's 5 of them. So then Obsidian's like, yeah, you know what, I better get out of here. So he starts running, and he runs to a door, and he hears something, and he's like, I know that voice. He goes inside, and he sees it's Jakeem. So he takes the tape off his mouth, and he's like, oh, thank God. So Obsidian's like, hey, you need to transform because this dude's coming. So he tries to call down a thunderbolt, and he says, so cool, nothing happens. So he says it again, and nothing happens again, which is pretty crazy because I'm pretty sure we know that Jakeem is in a hospital at the JSA. So how's he there too? So then we cut back to Dr. Mid-Nite. She's still on the run, and then she comes across a machine, and she's like, now, since I've been here, it's the first time where I felt fear. Because she knows whatever this thing is, it is not good. But then she hears something that's underneath the machine. So she goes, and all of a sudden, she finds Obsidian. And he's in a chair. How is he here, but he was also in that place? I'm so confused. The problem is that Vandal Savage found her, grabs her by the neck. She tries to punch, and she's like, "Oh, Wildcat taught you some things, but he didn't teach you enough." And she slams her face into a wall and then knocks the bejesus out of her. And she's like, "There is no more justice in the world, Doctor, only pain. And soon the whole world will know sorrow."